what happened yesterday was pretty much what I said was going to happen on yesterday's show. Ezekiel Elliott will now be allowed to play on Sunday night, and I believe he will remain eligible this entire football season as this case gets bogged down in federal court. This is going to federal court. And I'm going to say it again. I believe that Ezekiel Elliott has a much better chance of winning his case than Tom Brady had of winning his case in federal and then in appeals court, as you remember. Because this time, Roger Goodell's Director of Investigations, Kia Roberts, is testifying against Roger Goodell. So all of a sudden, the NFLPA, Zeke's side, has a star witness that I think will continue to testify against Roger Goodell in real court, as she did in the appeals process. So, as I said yesterday, as I predicted, the NFL tried to play a game. The NFL lawyers tried to play a game all day yesterday with the judge involved in Sherman, Texas. And the game was, if you delay the announcement, and we all knew what was going to happen, they're going to have to stand by their 6 games, right?
Correct.
But if you had announced early in the day, maybe while Undisputed was on, then you have the right to say Zeke can't play on Sunday night. But if you delay it past 4 o'clock, and it's not a rule, but it's sort of a spirit of the rule that the league has always had, if you get late day Tuesday, it's not fair competitive advantage for both teams playing Sunday night. You got to go ahead and let him play. So why did they delay? Because they wanted to go before the judge in Sherman, Texas and say, we don't even have a ruling, Judge. How can you rule when we don't even have an appeals ruling yet? What happened about an hour into that proceeding last night in Sherman, Texas? The judge held the NFL lawyers' feet to the fire and said, come on, what's going on here? And they finally had to admit, well, we're going to uphold the 6 games. Aha, says the judge. So that means I need until Friday to rule on your temporary restraining order motion that you have filed, which would mean an injunction, which would mean indefinitely, as you go through the federal court, that Zeke would be allowed to play football. So it's going to federal court, and I'm going to warn you one more time, they got 2 things going for them. The first thing you have to prove in federal court, is there irreparable harm being done to Zeke if he doesn't play? And that's a big yes to me, because you're going to damage his reputation forever and ever, right?
Too late.
Okay? You think it's too late for that?
I mean, the court, either you believe he did it or you don't, and there's nothing he can do. Even if the federal courts wipe it clean, he's been involved with DV. You don't want those initials.
Okay. But if they wipe it clean, it's going to help clean up his record a little bit and his reputation a little bit. It did Brady's. It did a little bit. Some people believe he still cheated. A lot of people don't believe.
Right.
I think it helped clean it up. But you also have to prove to a federal judge that you have a winning case on the merits of the case. And again, if Kia Roberts will testify in court, I believe you already have her appeals testimony to fall back on. I think you can show a federal judge we have a winning case here. Again, you're not going to retry that case in court. It's all about procedure. But you still have to prove to a federal judge that you have a convincing case to be made against Roger Goodell here. They do on both cases. So, again, that's why Jerry Jones has been so adamant from the start that they can win this, that Zeke is going to be eligible. So I think it was a great day for Zeke. It would help if the Texas judge, again, he's from Pittsburgh. I don't know what that means, but he went
what it means.
He went to Baylor Law School for what that means. And if this guy, famous Amos now, he's going to go down in Cowboy history, if he rules, yes, I grant an injunction, then you really got a chance to play the rest of the year. Can you fight it off? Can you win in appeals, federal court, appellate court? I don't know, but I'm going to give this team a much better chance than I gave Brady's team.
Skip, this is what I'm having a hard time. So let me get this. So do you believe, even if he plays game 1, miss the next 6 games or at some point in time, are you saying that he's going to have this suspension wiped away, that he's not going to serve 6 games ever?
I believe there's a real shot to get it wiped out completely.
I don't believe it. This is what I can't understand. Help me understand this, Joy. Why does a player suspended get an opportunity to play? When did they start letting players suspended play in NFL football games?
Okay, but you had a chance. You could have announced that you're upholding the 6 games at 9 a.m. yesterday Eastern time. You could have.
How is that fair to the judge?
You knew exactly what was going to happen. They wanted the judge to dismiss this by saying, You don't even have a ruling yet.
Well, first of all, fairness is an illusion. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's what they have pigs. They have pig feet. They have fried
Fairs
Twinkies.
for funnel cakes and fried Oreos.
You ever been to the fair?
But
Heck yes.
County fair,
Huh?
merry-go-round, the Ferris with the big wheels.
more importantly, they started doing this when the NFL started botching their investigations as badly as they do.
Here's the thing, Skip. I've always felt this way, and I don't really know what the arbitrator, because when you go before the arbitrator or the mediator, Skip, all he's looking at, Harold Henderson said, I'm not here to review any said facts of the case. All I need to know is that the process.
Are we giving any credibility to what Harold Henderson, who used to work for the league, said?
No, I'm saying.
I mean, he just rubber stamped. He does what he's told. I'm sorry, rubber stamp.
What are they doing? They're trying to say the procedure. They're not saying anything about his guilt or innocence. The same thing that Tom Brady said. The procedure. And it's
Who's they? They.
Zeke's representative.
No, but in the end, when you go to federal court, you have to prove you have a case also.
Yeah, you got a case. But guess what happened when he went to those appellate judges? He said, this is absolutely right, Mr. Brady. You are absolutely right, Mr. Yee. You are absolutely right, Jeffrey Kessler. This is absolutely too much power. But when you're sitting at the bargaining table, that's when you should have thought about it. Not up here in this courtroom.
Unless you can show in federal court corruption on the part of the commissioner.
Skip, here's the thing. He read her testimony. When you give him that, Skip, it's just like anything. You can have, like the lead prosecutor, the DA. Now, somebody else might say, you know what, I don't think it. But if the DA wants to take that case, guess what, Skip? You're going to take the case is going to trial. If the commissioner says, I don't care what Joy wrote in her investigative notes,
okay.
I believe.
Okay, you believe, so you're going to convict off what you believe when Joy was the only person in your organization who interviewed the accuser not once but 6 times. And Joy concluded, Kia Roberts concluded, that no suspension. Does not believe the witness, not credible enough.
Yes, because I trump Kia Roberts.
Yeah, you do.
You know what happened, Skip? Let me tell you what's happened, and it's happening to you. You watch too much Law and Order. You watch too much theater.
I've never watched it in my life, but go ahead. Not once.
What has happened is that you think there's a set of rules and parameters in which a court proceeding is supposed to abide by. See, in real court, they say reasonable doubt. If there's reasonable doubt, you got to let this person go, or you got to let this case go. The NFL says, I need all doubt removed. See, there's a presumption of innocence when you walk into a normal court that you're innocent until proven guilty. Well, you go into the NFL court, you're guilty until proven innocence. So if there's a bar like this, Skip, okay, you know, the bar like in between here, you know, guilt, innocence, NFL is even. So you walking in, and then as soon as you close the door, that guilt raises a little bit.